So thank you for joining us today, everybody. Hopefully I'm a familiar face. If I haven't met you before, I'm Debbie Hargreaves, the manager of the Sussex office, and but hopefully say I am a familiar face and not a surprise. This is my colleague Amy Williams, who is our digital practice manager, and Amy is going to be working with myself and the other accounts managers to help introduce anything digital to the client base, predominantly at the moment making tax digital. Okay. So we'd basically like to introduce you to the basics of making tax digital. I'm sure you have heard a lot being advertised, a lot on the rumour mill. Basically, MTD is definitely happening this year. Okay, so we can't hold on to the false hope that HMRC may cancel at the last minute like they did a few years ago. They are definitely aligned this year, so we are now in a position where we're getting ready. We have deliberately held back because the software companies have all been changing what they're doing and now are a lot more aligned with what they're doing. So we chose to wait until we saw them aligned rather than keep introducing different softwares to you. So we will be talking through what is making tax digital, the key dates, your deadlines and your penalties. Amy will talk about our software of choice and the solutions we'll be offering and next steps, etc. So when we finish, we'd like to go through questions and answers towards the end. So if you do have questions, please put them on the chat and we will try and cover what we can at the end if they've not already been covered in how we're presenting. Okay, so what is making tax digital? It is basically mandatory for all sole traders and landlords with gross income in excess of 50,000 based on your 24-25 tax years, which we submitted in January. Okay, by gross turnover, we actually mean the turnover before any expenses. There should be no misunderstanding. It's not your profit. It is the gross numbers coming in on the top line. Moving forward, we will be discussing the qualifying income, and the qualifying income is predominantly focusing on your self-employment income and your rental income. Now, for any UK residents that have foreign properties, that income is taxable in the UK, so we do need to make sure that income is brought into the equation. If you are a non-resident in the UK, your foreign income is not taxable in the UK. So it is for UK residents only that we need to bring that in. Non-qualifying income is all the other income that we put on your tax returns. So your dividend income, your interest received, if you've got any PAYE or pension income, and also partnership profits. Okay, partnerships at the moment don't have an entry date for making tax digital, but it's pretty clear they will be introduced into MTD probably in 3 or 4 years' time once they've got all the sole traders under control. So key dates that we need to look at. So tax year, as most of you know, it finishes on the 5th of April 26. So for that 26-27 tax year, we still need to remember we do a tax return as normal for that tax year, which we need to do between the 6th of April and the end of January next year. As I always stress, please let us have those records as soon as possible for that year so that we're not doing too much work in December and January, and it gives you plenty of notice of what your tax liabilities are. Alongside preparing that work, if you fall into MTD, the first quarter that you're going to be doing your MTD declarations for is going to be the first 3 months of the tax year, either to the 30th of June 26 or the 5th of July 26, depending on how your accounting year is run, either on month end or 5th of April. It's very similar to the VAT filing deadlines. You get until the 7th of the following month to file the making tax digital declaration, and then we repeat again following quarter. So anybody that's used to VAT registration, VAT filings, very similar concept, but it's obviously new to anybody below the VAT thresholds or the landlords that have never had to deal with quarterly reporting. So for the first year, There is a new penalty regime coming in. It's not quite that as soon as you're late, you've got a late filing penalty as it used to be. They're going to be working on a points system. So for the first couple of quarters, it will seem that there is no penalty consequence, but we have to warn you, if you get four points, i.e. you filed the first 4 quarters late, as soon as we get into the next year, you are into the penalties. Because as soon as you've got 4 penalties, you will have a £200 late filing penalty. Okay, so we need to get into the right behaviour fairly quickly and try and file things on time so that we're not worrying about, is a penalty going to kick in next quarter because we're slightly late. Okay, as soon as you've got you roll forward, we do reset the point system, so the oldest quarter will drop out, but we've got to get you sort of basically filing on time every quarter. When the penalty situation does kick in, it will not just be a filing penalty, it will be a late payment penalty attaching to the amount of tax that you owe as well. So again, we just need to get everybody playing the game and filing on time. And the one good thing that's coming out of making tax digital is because you're preparing figures quarterly throughout the year, by the end of the year, you've got a really good idea of how much tax you've got to pay by the end of January next year. So it is actually going to be helpful to you guys once it's in place, and it will help with your cash flow.
So as Debbie mentioned before, we've taken our time to review a lot of our MTD solutions. Because of HMRC making tax digital mandatory now, we've had to go and pick one solution, and it made sense that our choice of software is Xero. Reason being, we've done a lot of investigation into different softwares, but Xero allows us to have one subscription for both filing sole trader income as well as property income. We don't need to split and have multiple different subscriptions, such as other software that I have provided. We also have a team of experts here who are already using Xero on a regular basis. Like Debbie mentioned, we have MTD for VAT. So if you are already VAT registered, you might already be on Xero. So again, we will just keep you on the same software and complete quarterly returns for MTD for income tax as well. Continuity, like I just said, we're already using Xero, so it makes sense. Xero has a great AI tool built into it as well for automation, to reconciliation and efficiencies for both us and yourself. It's all in one platform as well, so we don't have multiple apps. So when we ask you to start providing us receipts on a regular basis, we can ask you to capture images of your receipts via Xero. You don't need to start downloading multiple applications on your phone to do that. And also with regards to collaboration and visibility, because Xero is cloud-based, we will all have the same access to your system. So we'll be able to collaborate on support and training and help with regards to your MTD filings. We also will be using a bridging software for those clients who choose to still stay on Excel. So we will provide Excel templates for you, where we will just require you to actually just send us those Excel spreadsheets, and we'll use a bridging solution for you to file those on a quarterly basis. But don't worry, if you're not using Xero or you're not using the bridging solution and you are already using something else, another software, as there are quite a few out there already, we will still support you. We will not turn you away. If you're already using QuickBooks, Sage, etc., other cloud-based tools, we will fully support you with your MTD journey. So we are offering our clients 4 solutions. We are offering a full service solution where we do everything for you. We will be asking you to provide us receipts on a regular basis via Xero or a capture tool. But we will keep everything up to date for you on a regular basis. Maybe a few questions that will go out for you of what receipts are for what. But we will stay in communication with you and we will deal with everything. We have the hybrid approach, which is basically, we will ask you to do the bookkeeping, keep up to date, but we will review your quarterly submissions before they go to HMRC. So it's a bit of both. A self-service, where you're quite comfortable with Xero, you want to do the quarterly bookkeeping and submissions yourself. or the bridging solution. With each of these solutions, we do offer the file of the fifth and final tax declaration in January. So whatever solution you choose, we will go and help you with regards to the fifth and final one. But we will offer support regardless of what package you pick.
Okay, it's probably worth adding that fifth and final return is where all of that additional income, that's excluded income for MTD, so your dividends, your PAYE, etc., that will go on that last tax return to complete your tax return information. Okay.
Yes, correct. And this is just a little bit more of an outline about our four solutions that we offer as well. We have got our fixed 4 solutions. However, talking to clients individually, we will have bespoke services available. You might need more training. You might need, you know, the VAT submissions included as well. But we're happy to talk to each individual client and discuss their individual needs. So what are the next steps? So following on from this webinar, we will be sending out a recording of this webinar as well as a booking link to myself, where we'll have a conversation and discuss your solution, what one best fits you and how we can help you with your MTD journey. We'll then go forward to the MTD onboarding team and we'll set up your Xero or provide you the MTD spreadsheets that will be given to you quarterly. And we'll set up Xero as best as possible for you. And then we're scheduling training. We will be scheduling any training for you and support calls. We'll also be sending out reminders, because if you've chosen to file the returns yourself and we just need a little reminder, a little nudge that you need to do that, we'll be sending those out as well. But do remember, if you have sole trader income or property income and this is going into your personal bank account, the best thing to do now is prepare by setting up a separate bank account. So you've got that income going into a sole trader only bank account. And you're just taking the money that you need every single month and you're using your own personal bank account for your nights out, your personal bits and bobs. So we don't need to go through and decipher those for you. That'll keep the time and the savings down. So we're going to go over some questions that have come up within the team and some of the clients have already asked us, some frequently asked questions, and we're also going to look at the chat box as well and see what other questions have come up. So how do I sign up for MTD? So if we are already your personal tax agent, this is something that we can do for you and we can sign you up and move you over to MTD and connect that with either your bridging software or your new cloud accounting software. If it's something where you file your own tax returns yourself at the moment, then please do book a call with me. The links will go out tomorrow and I'll be happy to discuss this with you. However, some helpful links will be going out tomorrow on that email as well. So how to sign up will be one of those. Who is exempt from MTD? So with regards to MTD exemptions, I've spoken to HMRC and this is on a case-by-case basis. So it could be age exemption, it could be disability, it could be location, or it could be a religious belief where you don't have access to computers, smartphones or tablets. So again, it's a case-by-case basis. So happy again, schedule a call with me, we can talk through that. Do partnerships need to use this? Not at the moment, no. So the instant answer is no, but it will do in the future. We just haven't got those dates for that yet. And last one we come up with, it was, I have 50,000 turnover in my 24-25 tax return, but I won't do the same this year, I'll be a lot less. Again, this is a case-by-case scenario. It could be the case that you had a property and you've since sold that property, and also so therefore you have no rental income. That's fine, we just need to notify HMRC. Ideally, if that was during the 24-25 tax return, we would have had an end date of that property or a sale date. If it's since then we need to just notify HMRC. There could be different reasons why you drop below 50,000. One of the things is if you did have 50,000 worth of income in 24-25, but This year so far has just been a slow year, so you just think your earnings are going to be lower. Unfortunately, once you're in, you're in. You just still have to comply with MTD. So we have got some questions coming through on Teams, so I'm just going to have a look at these and see if we can answer some of those.
I'll just talk a little bit about the joint rental properties as well. One of the other questions that's been bounced around a little bit is if we've got a property owned between husband and wife or jointly with somebody else, we have to look at your individual rental income. So if that one property is achieving, say, 60,000 of rental income, and therefore split between two of you, it is 30,000 each, that is not ticking the MTD box. Okay, but if your joint portfolio is in excess of £100,000, obviously that's giving you 50,000 each, you are ticking the box. So depending on if all of your properties are joint or you have some joint properties, some individual properties, we are seeing some scenarios where one half of a joint property has to go into MTD, but the other side doesn't because they don't have as many properties on their own. Again, it's going to be an individual case-by-case basis.
So a couple of questions that we've got is what's the best way to manage clients who still keep poor or incomplete records under MTD? The answer is call me. Schedule a call with me or the MTD team and we'll happily go through this with you. It might be the case that we can just set you on the right tool. It might be the case that we need a bespoke offering for you where we can help you. Again, talk to me. Everyone's got unique different circumstances. Please do contact us and we can help you with regards to training and setup. So that's the answer to that one. What happens if my income goes over the threshold during the year? So over the 50,000, within the year, you're in. Because you've gone over 50,000 within your tax return 24-25, that's why you need to register. If you've gone over 50,000, it doesn't matter. You're already in making tax digital.
What about if we go over in 25-26? 25. So we were below in 24-25. We now know in 25-26 we've gone over. I believe it is just we go straight in from April 27.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Correct. Next year we will be looking at the 30,000 tranches. So obviously if you're under the 50,000 now, this will be a conversation that we'll be having next year for anyone that's having income of over 30,000, because you'll find that the following year then is anyone over 20,000. So this will be a gradual process where unfortunately everyone will fall into making tax digital. Unless you're in a partnership, for example.
Okay. We've got a very specific question about Airbnb tracking. If I can ask that we do that as a one-to-one question with Amy, because it's not going to be necessarily applicable to all clients. And also, I think we need to ask a couple of more questions to answer this properly. What else have we got there?
How will I know when I need to register for MTD as a sole trader? So we have, if you're one of our clients already, we have run our tax return list that if anyone fell into over 50,000 for the 24-25, you've already received an email, hence why we're contacting you and inviting you to the webinar. We will be keeping an eye out for anyone that comes in that's got turnover of over £50,000, and we'll be contacting you, making sure you're MTD registered.
You will also be getting communications from HMRC pointing out that we believe you should be getting into MTD. So I think you will get multiple communications from HMRC as well as ourselves. So as my turnover was less than 50,000 last year, I assume I won't start until next year. Also, my wife and I own a rental property that proceeds 50-50. She has a pension. Pensions aren't included and works part-time. Okay,
this
could be an interesting one, because you've mentioned that so a specific client has mentioned that the turnover is less than 50,000. On that information alone, yes, you are correct. You don't need to go straight in, but you then go on to mention that you've got a joint rental property. Now, if you have got sole trade income less than 50,000 and also a rental income of less than 50,000, you have to add the two turnovers together. So if we've got 30,000 from sole trade and 30,000 from rental, you tick the MTD box. You have to add together the combined sole trade and rental income. Hopefully that helps answer the question.
Yeah. I rarely have photos or scans of my receipts. I just have items directly from my bank account. That's fine. So what we will be doing is we'll ask you in that case we'll set up Xero for you. We'll connect your bank feeds with Xero, so it will pull through your bank statements on a daily basis. We will set up bank rules, and this will be in your training session, whereby we'll be able to determine what line items are for what expense. And going forward, hopefully, it might be something that we can start taking pictures, depending on the expenditure. Again, everyone's unique.
And although we have seen a lot of clients get relaxed over the years on keeping their receipts, I'd always encourage trying to keep them when the place that you purchase the items from is a little bit vague, i.e. we know we can buy anything and everything from Tesco's these days. If you don't have a receipt and HMRC ask what you've bought, it's your word against no receipts as to why you might not qualify, and then they'll just say you're not having it because you can't prove what it is. So it would be helpful if we can try and get into the routine of saving our receipts. Okay. Do we have any more questions coming in? The cost of the 4 solutions, again, that's going to have to be dealt with on a client by client basis, because every client is different. And from the queries that I've been receiving from new clients joining us and also existing clients, no one client does the same thing. Some clients are really into technology, others are not. So it's very difficult to just give you a this is a price right now, because it really does depend how much you do or don't want to do. But Amy will deal with that when we do the one-to-ones, and obviously you can speak to your client managers as well, because they're all trained up in the subject. Okay, so I've got some items are bought via my personal account. Does that mean I have to link both accounts to the app? That's a little bit of a depends. We don't really want to have to go through personal accounts if we can help it. So if you've got the odd expense that is being paid for out of your personal account, they can be journaled in. Okay, so it's keep a note to one side if you don't know what you're doing with the journaling, and then we can help you introduce those. If it's a lot of transactions going through a personal account, then yes, we are going to have to link it up. But that obviously creates quite a lot of work filtering out the non-business expenses.
So the best case scenario is just setting up that separate bank account for that sole trader or property income. It just makes it so much clearer for you and us when processing on a quarterly basis.
Yeah, okay. So much documentation on how one should set up an STL property in Xero. Again, there's a question come in about specifically to do with how to set property income up on Xero and moving Airbnb, Booking.com, etc. Chat to Amy, because Xero does link up to various platforms to import the information, but again, I think it's more relevant to talk on a one-to-one basis because all of you are slightly different in how you're doing things.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've come to the end of the questions. As Amy said, we will be sending an email out with the links so that you can watch us talk again tomorrow if you want to go through the webinar. And also Amy will be sending invites out for meeting invites. So please meet up with us, please talk to us. We're here to help, and as frustrating as it is that HMRC are pushing forward with MTD, I do believe once we're into this routine, it will actually get easier for everybody, because managing your paperwork on a regular basis is far easier than doing a year's worth of paperwork in one go. So it will have its benefits in the end. We've just got to get you through the setup. So yeah, we look forward to hearing from you shortly.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.